First contact, final warning. Captain Maya Chen stared at her bridge viewport in horror as the research outpost Galileo erupted into flames against the black canvas of space. The unprovoked attack had come without warning. 3 alien vessels had emerged from fold space, unleashed a barrage of energy weapons, and reduced humanity's first deep space outpost to scattered debris in minutes. From her position aboard the research vessel Aurora, hidden behind Europa's mass, she and her crew of 15 were the only witnesses to the massacre. "Sensors, give me everything on those ships," she ordered, her voice steadier than she felt. "Communications, maintain blackout protocols. They don't know we're here." Lieutenant Sato's fingers flew across his console. "Captain, I've identified them. Krillian vessels, hegemony markings. They're celebrating, ma'am. I can detect communication bursts between them." Maya's jaw tightened. The Krillian Confederacy had been the first alien civilization humanity had encountered 3 years prior. Their representatives had seemed peaceful, if condescending, during diplomatic exchanges. Now she understood why they'd been so interested in the location of Earth's outposts. 287 people, whispered Commander Ramirez, her second in command. "Gone. And we're next if they detect us," Maya replied. "Tactical, plot a course back to Earth. Use Europa for cover, then a series of microjumps. No standard flight patterns. That will drain our reserves, Captain," warned Chief Engineer Park. "Better drained than dead, Chief." Maya stood, addressing her stunned crew. "What we just witnessed was an act of war. But right now, we're the only ones who know it happened. Our priority is getting this data home." The journey back to Earth took 17 days of careful navigation, silent running, and constant vigilance. When they finally reached lunar orbit, Maya transmitted a single coded message: "Galileo falls. Witnesses return. Proof secured." Admiral Victor Okafor stood at the center of the United Earth Defense Council chamber, Maya's report projected on screens around him. Representatives from every continent sat in grim silence as the footage of Galileo's destruction played for the 3rd time. "Captain Chen's data is conclusive," Okafor stated. "The Krillian Confederacy destroyed our outpost without provocation or warning. 287 civilians and scientists murdered." "What is their official position?" asked Counselor Zhao. "They claim Galileo suffered a catastrophic reactor failure," replied Ambassador Williams, her expression tight. "They've sent condolences and offered technical assistance to prevent such accidents in the future." Mutters of outrage filled the chamber until Admiral Okafor raised his hand for silence. "Publicly, we're accepting their explanation and maintaining diplomatic channels. But this chamber must decide our actual response." Maya, seated in the witness section, watched as proposals for economic sanctions and diplomatic protests were raised and dismissed. The Krillians were technologically superior. Their fold space drives alone put them decades ahead of public Earth technology. An open confrontation would be suicide. "Perhaps," said a quiet voice from the end of the table, "it's time to reveal what we've been keeping in the shadows." All heads turned to Dr. Elena Volkov, Director of Advanced Research. With a nod from the council chair, Volkov activated her own presentation. The image that appeared showed a sleek vessel unlike any in Earth's known fleet, all sharp angles and dark surfaces that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Project Nightshade," Volkov announced. "For the past decade, we've been reverse engineering and improving upon technology recovered from a crashed scout ship in the Atacama. We've kept this program completely separate from our public space initiatives." Maya leaned forward, eyes wide. She'd heard whispers of classified projects, but nothing this significant. "The UES Vanguard is complete and ready for deployment," Volkov continued. "Advanced shielding, energy weapons derived from Arcturus technology, and most importantly, fold space capability paired with a complete sensor masking system. We can reach the Krillian homeworld undetected." "To what end?" asked Counselor Mimeki. We cannot wage war against the entire Confederacy. Admiral Okafor stepped forward again. Not war. A demonstration. The Krillians believe us to be primitives who will accept their explanation out of ignorance or fear. They need to understand that humanity responds to aggression with strength. Maya found herself called forward as the council debated. She stood at attention, exhaustion forgotten as Admiral Okafor addressed her directly. Captain Chen, you were there. You witnessed their attack and successfully evaded detection. Would you be willing to command a mission to deliver our response? Maya thought of the faces of those stationed on Galileo. Scientists, engineers, dreamers who had ventured into the deep to expand human knowledge. She thought of how the Krillians had celebrated after the massacre. Yes, Admiral. I would consider it an honor. 3 days later, Maya stood on the bridge of the UES Vanguard, still adjusting to the advanced systems that surrounded her. Half her Aurora crew had volunteered to join her, including Commander Ramirez and Lieutenant Sato. They'd been integrated with specialists from Project Nightshade, who understood the ship's unique capabilities. Captain on deck, called Ramirez as Maya entered for the final pre-mission briefing. At ease, Maya said, studying the determined faces before her, "You've all been briefed on our mission. We will fold jump to the Krillian homeworld, time our arrival to coincide with their hegemony summit, and make Earth's position clear." "And if they attack, Captain?" asked Tactical Officer Lin. "Then we demonstrate exactly what humanity is capable of," Maya replied. "But we do not fire first. We are not executioners or terrorists. We are delivering justice and a warning." Dr. Volkov, who would accompany them to monitor the experimental systems, added, "The Vanguard's technology remains classified. Even if you're captured, you cannot reveal its origins or capabilities." A solemn nod passed through the crew. They all understood the stakes. Admiral Okafor joined them for the final moments before departure. He carried with him a small metal container, which he presented to Maya. "Earth soil," he explained as she opened it to reveal a small amount of dark earth, an old spacefarer tradition. "No matter how far you travel, you carry home with you." Maya nodded, genuinely moved by the gesture. "We won't let Earth down, sir." "I know." Okafor surveyed the bridge. "The Krillians believe they taught humanity to fear the stars. You're going to teach them that humanity has never responded to threats by retreating." As the Admiral departed, Maya took her place in the command chair. The weight of their mission settled on her shoulders. Not just vengeance for the fallen, but possibly the future of human expansion into space. Navigation, plot course for the Krillian homeworld. Engineering, prepare fold space drive. The Vanguard detached from its secret lunar dock, its dark hull disappearing against the blackness of space, even before its stealth systems fully engaged. To any observer, it would appear that Earth was continuing diplomatic discussions, perhaps planning a formal protest at most. Little did the galaxy know that humanity's response was already on its way, silent and resolute. "Fold space drive engaged, Captain," reported the navigator. Maya looked at the main view screen as stars elongated around them. "Let's show them exactly who they're dealing with." With that, the UES Vanguard vanished from Earth's space, carrying with it humanity's message to those who had gravely underestimated them. The demonstration. The UES Vanguard emerged from fold space at the edge of the Krillian system, instantly engaging its advanced stealth systems. Captain Maya Chen felt a momentary disorientation. The experimental drive was smoother than she'd expected, nothing like the jarring transitions described in theoretical papers. "Status report," she ordered, studying the alien solar system displayed on the main view screen. "All systems nominal, Captain," Commander Ramirez responded. "Stealth field at maximum efficiency. According to sensors, we might as well be a shadow." Lieutenant Sato looked up from his communications array. "Intercepting massive amounts of transmissions, Captain. The Hegemony Summit is indeed underway. Representatives from 17 spacefaring civilizations are present." Maya nodded, a grim satisfaction settling in her chest. The intelligence had been correct. This was the gathering of every major power that had sanctioned or ignored the destruction of Galileo Station. The perfect audience for Earth's message. Take us in, Lieutenant Park. Standard approach vector toward Krillex Prime. Keep us beyond their defensive perimeter for now. As the Vanguard glided silently through the system, Dr. Volkov joined Maya at the command station. Her eyes reflected the blue light of the ship's displays as she monitored the advanced systems. The Krillians have no idea we possess this technology, Volkov murmured. Their sensors are sweeping right through us. Maya studied the tactical display, showing the considerable Krillian defense fleet. Over 50 warships arranged in a protective formation around their homeworld, weapons powered down for the ceremonial display of unity and strength that traditionally opened the summit. Arrogance, Maya replied. They're so certain of their technological superiority that they've become complacent. The bridge fell silent as the massive Krillian homeworld grew larger on their view screen. Krillex Prime was a swirling marble of purple and green landmasses amid silver-blue oceans. Urban centers glittered like constellations across its surface. Ambassador Terralin is ready in the communications bay, Captain Ramirez reported. Maya nodded. Tactical. Do we have a lock on the summit location? Lieutenant Lin manipulated her controls, zooming the view screen to focus on an enormous crystalline structure at the heart of the capital city. The Grand Convocation Hall. All delegates are present according to their security broadcasts. Time to make our entrance, Maya said, rising from her chair. Lieutenant Park, position us directly above the Convocation Hall, altitude 30,000 kilometers. Lieutenant Lin, prepare defensive systems but keep weapons powered down. We're not here to start a fight. The crew worked with practiced precision, guiding the Vanguard into position. Through the view screen, Maya could see the ceremonial formation of the Krillian fleet, their ships arranged in a symbolic helix pattern below them, unaware that an Earth vessel now hung directly above their most sacred gathering. In position, Captain, Park announced. Maya took a deep breath, aware that what came next would forever change humanity's place in the galactic community. Disengage stealth systems, raise shields, open broadcast on all hegemony frequencies. The ship shimmered into visibility, its dark hull suddenly reflecting the light of Krillex's star. On the tactical display, Maya watched as alarms swept through the Krillian fleet. Defense stations that had been dormant suddenly blazed with energy signatures. The ceremonial formation dissolved into chaos. Channel open, broadcasting on all frequencies, Seto confirmed. Ambassador Terralin's dignified voice filled the bridge as she began Earth's message. To the assembled representatives of the galactic hegemony, I am Ambassador Sophia Terralin of United Earth. 6 months ago, the Krillian Confederacy destroyed our research outpost Galileo, killing 287 innocent civilians engaged in peaceful scientific exploration. On auxiliary screens, the crew could see the pandemonium unfolding in the convocation hall. Security forces rushed to surround the Krillian High Chancellor, Zorax Vrin, whose chitinous features had paled to ash gray. You believed we would stay silent, Terralin continued, her voice unwavering. You believed we lacked the capacity to reach your worlds. You were wrong on both counts. The UEA's Vanguard awaits your response to our message. Chancellor Vren lurched to his feet, mandibles clicking in agitation. Impossible. His translated voice crackled through the bridge speakers. No human vessel possesses fold space capability. How have you breached our defenses? Maya gestured to Sato, who transferred the visual feed to her command chair. She looked directly into the camera, addressing the Chancellor and the entire hegemony. Chancellor Vren, this is Captain Maya Chen of the UES Vanguard. Perhaps you should reconsider your assessment of human capabilities. We request your immediate acknowledgement of the unprovoked attack on Galileo Station and negotiations for reparations to begin. Captain, Lin called out urgently, Krillian fleet is moving to surround us. 30 vessels breaking formation and powering weapons. Maya kept her expression neutral as she maintained eye contact with Ren. We detect your vessels moving to offensive positions, Chancellor. I advise against hostile action. The Vanguard possesses defensive capabilities beyond what you might expect. The tactical display showed the Krillian ships forming a sphere around the Earth vessel. Ramirez monitored their communications. They're coordinating an attack pattern, Captain. Standard Krillian encirclement. Maya nodded but didn't break her gaze from the screen. Chancellor, I assure you that we did not come here to start a war, but we will defend ourselves if attacked. This is your final warning. Vren's translator struggled to keep up with his rapid, clicking speech. You dare threaten us at the heart of our territory. One primitive vessel against the might of the Krillian fleet. Your arrogance exceeds even your recklessness, human. Sir, his aide could be heard warning. We should not provoke. But Vren cut him off with a dismissive gesture. Fire warning shots across their bow. Show these humans the consequences of their insolence. Maya had expected this. The Krillians would not lose face before the hegemony. Shields to maximum, she ordered calmly. Prepare countermeasures, but do not return fire unless I give the command. The space around the Vanguard lit up as energy beams from 3 Krillian destroyers lanced toward them. The bridge crew tensed, many bracing for impact. But instead of striking the ship, the beams curved around the Vanguard's advanced shield geometry, dissipating harmlessly into space. Gasps echoed through the convocation hall. On screen, Vren's compound eyes widened in disbelief. As I said, Maya stated evenly, we possess capabilities you have not accounted for. We have no desire for conflict, but we will not be dismissed or threatened. She nodded to Dr. Volkov, who activated a secondary system. A holographic display appeared above the convocation hall, visible to all delegates. Footage from the Aurora's sensors showing the unprovoked destruction of Galileo Station, the celebration of the Krillian attack vessels afterward. The hegemony has operated under the assumption that humanity is a minor species, barely worth notice. Maya continued. That assumption ends today. We demand recognition as equals, justice for our murdered citizens, and assurance that no further regulatory actions will be taken against human settlements. Several of the alien delegates were now in heated discussions. A tall, reptilian being, the representative from the Soren Collective, rose to address the Chancellor. The collective was not informed of military action against human outposts. The translator rendered its hissing speech. You presented this as an unfortunate accident. This footage suggests otherwise. The Krillian ships tightened their formation around the Vanguard. Captain, Lin warned, they're charging weapons for a coordinated barrage. Our shields can't absorb that much energy at once. Maya nodded, having anticipated this as well. Deploy countermeasure Alpha. Target their weapons systems only. From the underside of the Vanguard, dozens of small devices shot out, each heading for a different Krillian vessel. Before the alien ships could fire, the devices attached to their hulls and released precise electromagnetic pulses designed specifically to overload Krillian targeting systems without causing catastrophic damage. One by one, the weapon signatures of the surrounding ships flickered and died. The Vanguard remained untouched at the center of the now powerless fleet. In the convocation hall, Chancellor Vren received frantic reports from his military commanders. His mandibles clicked furiously as he turned back to the communication screen. What have you done to our ships? He demanded. Temporarily disabled their weapons. Maya replied calmly. They can still maneuver and maintain life support, but they cannot fire. This is not an act of war, Chancellor, but a demonstration that humanity cannot be intimidated or destroyed without consequence. Ambassador Terrelin stepped back into frame beside Maya. The United Earth Government proposes the following. Formal acknowledgement of the attack on Galileo Station, reparations for the families of the victims, and a new treaty establishing humanity as a full member of the hegemony, with all associated protections. The convocation hall erupted in debate. Several delegates immediately sided with Earth, seeing an opportunity to check Krillian expansion. Others demanded investigations into what other regulatory actions might have been hidden from the hegemony. Chancellor Vren, seeing his position weakening by the minute, struggled to maintain control. Finally, the Arcturian delegate, respected for their ancient civilization and neutrality, raised a limb for silence. "The evidence presented by Earth is compelling," the Arcturian stated. "The hegemony was founded on principles of peaceful coexistence and diplomatic resolution. If the Krillian Confederacy has violated these principles, they must answer for it." Vren's aide whispered urgently in his ear. With visible reluctance, the Chancellor straightened. "The Confederacy acknowledges that there may have been a misunderstanding regarding the Galileo incident," he managed. "We are willing to discuss the terms proposed by Earth's representatives." "A misunderstanding that killed 287 people," Maya stated flatly. "But we accept your willingness to negotiate as a starting point." Ambassador Terrelin stepped forward. "We will remain in orbit while preliminary discussions take place. To demonstrate our good faith, we will now restore functionality to your vessels." She nodded to Maya, who gave the order to deactivate the EMP devices. As the summit dissolved into intensive diplomatic activity, Maya finally allowed herself to relax slightly. She turned to her crew, seeing relief and pride reflected on their faces. "Well done, everyone," she said quietly. "Phase 1 complete. Now the real work begins." Commander Ramirez approached her station. "Do you think they'll honor any agreement? We've humiliated them." Maya looked at the view screen where delegates from 17 civilizations were now clamoring to establish direct relations with Earth, a planet they had dismissed as insignificant hours earlier. "They'll honor it," she replied, "not out of moral obligation, but practicality. Every power in that room is now reevaluating their assessment of humanity. They're wondering what other capabilities we might have, whether there are more ships like the Vanguard." "And are there?" Ramirez asked softly. Maya smiled slightly. "That's exactly the question we want them asking." 3 days later, the UES Vanguard prepared to return to Earth. In the cargo bay, a secure container held the freshly signed Galileo Accords, a formal treaty recognizing humanity's sovereign rights to colonize and establish outposts throughout their solar system and beyond, with full protections under hegemony law. Maya stood on the observation deck, watching as diplomatic vessels from 6 different species prepared to accompany them back to Earth to establish formal embassies. Dr. Volkov joined her, datapad in hand. "Project Nightshade exceeded expectations," she said. "The Krillians never detected our approach, and our defensive systems performed perfectly. And the Fold space drive, ready for the return journey. We've collected valuable data that will help us refine the technology." Maya nodded, gazing out at the stars. Stars that now held new possibilities for humanity. "They thought we would cower," she said softly. "That we would accept their version of events, retreat to our homeworld, and abandon our dreams of expansion. Instead, we changed the balance of power in the galaxy overnight." Volkov finished. Maya thought of the small container of Earth soil Admiral Okuffer had given her, still sitting on her desk in her quarters. They had carried Earth with them, and now they would return, having secured humanity's place among the stars. "Navigator," she called as she returned to the bridge, "set course for home. It's time to deliver the good news." The UES Vanguard disappeared into Fold space, leaving behind a transformed galactic political landscape and a powerful message about underestimating humanity's resolve.